What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. I know you guys could probably already tell it is going down just by that title alone. You're definitely going to see this one as we have that Jessica Tarlov of Fox News The 5 host back at it again, guys. She is tiptoeing, dancing on that fine line of getting kicked off the network in this newest segment. I mean, that Trump derangement syndrome is just far too gone for anyone to handle at this point. I'm excited to get into it, so we're not straight into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we get into it, you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it, folks.
Great. That's what people want to see. I also think that the retail politicking at the grocery store, it's just great to see a different way to look at a candidate, somebody who is out there with the people. I'm sure that woman would have loved to keep that $100 bill. That's a very special thing in her life, but he is in a position where he can help people with groceries. But his message was, I'm going to be here to do that for all of you. And I thought that as a visual was great.
And that $100 bill was in no way a bribe, Judge Jeanine. That was just from the bottom of his heart, charity.
That's Donald Trump being Donald Trump. I mean, you know, he does that all the time. After dinner, he'll go into a kitchen and say hello to everybody in the kitchen, and they're all stunned. And he's taking pictures and, you know, giving them. He does a lot of things that people don't realize he does. And he is a showman, there's no question. But there is also another side of him that a lot of people haven't seen. But what I loved about today was I loved listening to Donald Trump talk about how he was going to improve the economy and what he was going to do to make sure that he brought jobs back to the United States.
Something that Kamala could never do, guys. Every time she's asked her, you know, the question is posed on economy, we know she's going back to her childhood and her upbringing and that middle class family with her single mother trying to, you know, raise her and her sister. I mean, come on, guys. How could you not be in support? After that, I mean, just listen to him.
The economy and what he was going to do to make sure that he brought jobs back to the United States. He talked about reducing corporate taxes on companies from 21% to 15% if they make their goods in the United States. I mean, he's consistent with his theme of, you know, making America wealthy, safe, strong, and great again. He talked about research and development tax credits on U.S.-based manufacturing. And then he talked about special zones, federal land with low regulation, where they were going to incentivize companies to come in and make American products. And then he actually talked about a global ambassador to go out to the world and say, bring those jobs back to the United States. Bring it all back here. Let's do it in America. And I loved when he said 100% tariff on cars made in Mexico. If you want someone who is going to do what a Democrat president has not been able to do, and that is improve the economy, it was only when Trump was in office that we had the consumer confidence and the animal instincts that go with the consumer confidence. Kamala Harris can't even answer whether we're better off now than we were 4 years ago. And all this nonsense of, oh, I'm going to do price fixing. Like, you know what? You know why that infuriates me? Because if she's concerned about the American person like Donald Trump is at the bodega or with the construction workers at 6 a.m. before the trial or wherever he went in Chick-fil-A, you know, if she were concerned, she would start working on it right now. If the big corporations, Kamala, are making it impossible for Americans to pay for food that they have to pay with credit cards and they're living paycheck to paycheck, then why don't you put it into effect right now? Why don't you do something and prosecute them? Because
there you go, Judge Jeanine. Hey, I'm telling you right now, she's upset, and that's the frustration of all the Americans right now. You know, she keeps giving that promise to say she's going to fix what's going on, you know, the economic crisis that we're currently facing, the border crisis that we're currently facing. On day one, when she's put in that seat, we're like, day one started for you almost 3.5 years ago. I mean, what do you mean day one? Day one's came and gone for you. It's crazy she's still pushing that narrative.
Effect right now. Why don't you do something and prosecute them? Because she doesn't care. She only cares if you vote for her, and she'll never do it if you do.
Jessica Tarlov.
Well, she has done it. So since she announced this antitrust enforcement, she never once said price fixing. She never said price control.
Price gouging.
She never said she was going to do any type of price. She's been complaining and running the point of price gouging, and she's going to address these big, corporations that are, getting over. She's been saying this, pay their fair share to the American citizens. I mean, like, where has Jessica Tarlov? And that's more of that false reality that she lives in, folks. You're seeing it right here out the gates. Jessica Tarlov. I'm glad we got Judge Jeanine there to keep her in line. Now, listen to her, guys.
Jessica Tarlov.
Well, she has done it. So since she announced this antitrust enforcement, she never once said price fixing. She never said price controls.
Price gouging.
That is not the same thing as saying I'm going to implement price controls. Kroger dropped their prices. Walmart dropped their prices. It was effective in doing it. Really? And the economy is dramatically better under the Biden-Harris administration. We now have a soft landing coming. We were able to get a 50 basis point cut because of it. We have Dow 42K. And I get it. The retail politicking, I can see the charm of it. I can see how exciting it would be if Donald Trump walked into the kitchen that I was working at or the bodega that I was working at. But the American people are seeing through it, and it's being reflected in who they think is best suited to handle the economy. Donald Trump's lead on the economy is getting slashed in every survey that comes out. In the NBC poll, he's only up 9. He used to be up 13.
Guys, she is and these polls are really getting to her head at this point. I mean, people can see straight. She's talking about people can see straight through Donald Trump and his, retail politics. And no, guys, people can see straight through Kamala Harris and her lack of policy on our economy. I mean, it's flat out to see she has not laid out any plans, really. And she keeps saying that she's going to, address price gouging, but with no real plan behind. I mean, Jessica Tarlov, she is in a different world right now, guys. And it shows. It's sad to see. Look at this.
Suited to handle the economy. Donald Trump's lead on the economy is getting slashed in every survey that comes out. In the NBC poll, he's only up 9. He used to be up 13 points higher than that. In the CBS poll, up 6. The Fox poll, up 5. Tied in the FT poll and Morning Consult. We know that his policies will be more inflationary. He's going to add something like $5.8 trillion to the deficit. Kamala only $1.2 trillion. And when he continues to say, well, I'm going to...
Kamala's only at that 1.2 trillion added to our deficit because she's not being transparent on what she's going to do in order to address price gouging and price controls that she's going to... I mean, Kamala Harris is not fully transparent with what her agenda is. So I feel like what she's going to add to the deficit is not like all the way laid out on the table. We can see that through Kamala Harris's non-transparency, her non-willingness to sit down, do interviews. This narrative that Jessica Tarlov is spinning on is not working, guys. We see straight through it.
Deficit. Kamala only $1.2 trillion. And when he continues to say, well, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to have the cost of energy. No plan to do it. The tariffs, that is not good economic policy. This is going to add a 20% tariff to some goods. That's not just something that you throw around. That's something that could be devastating for the American economy. And so you can rail about her. You can call her incompetent. And frankly, it's been shown as well that people do not take well to him standing up there and continually insulting her in that tone. But people are hearing what she's saying about her plans, the progress we've made, and what she's going to continue to do. And that's why his edge is being decreased every time a new survey comes out.
Okay. It is funny to hear Jessica talk about how Trump's plans are going to bring so much inflation where he had no inflation these 4 years. None.
I think they remember, the Harris campaign is based on just getting these people to vote. They don't have to offer any specifics. The act itself is the vote. Tariffs, by the way, they aren't a blanket tool. You use it on companies in countries where the government helps subsidize the company, so you can match that. You don't do it across the board. You pick specific companies where we compete with that company, and if they are subsidized, you go for them. The retail politicking, Trump 101. Super comfortable, charming, and real. Harris is a walking bag of social anxiety. It's like comparing a Navy SEAL to a real SEAL. And I do think Trump needs to do more of this stuff. He's unmatched. He can charm Joy Behar off a food truck. I like, you saw him. Compare my show to when Kamala was on and on Oprah. It was a disaster. I think that modern Democrats, and I'm not including people like even, Obama or Bill Clinton, modern Democrats have a real problem acting like a human being. And it's because they can only see people in groups, boxes of identity. So you're going to change your accent for one group or talk about hot sauce with another group because you think all black people are the same or all Hispanic people are the same, when in reality, a black man could have more in common with a white man than a fellow black man because they're
that right there is the point that Kamala Harris, her whole campaign, they just do not get. They keep on trying to run on, bringing everyone together, unity throughout America, not putting a divide in folks. But then we see them try to do that, the phoniness. And they're the ones that are dividing these groups and saying that they're so different when Gutfeld points out a great point. We are all more alike than we are different. And that's just that, guys. I wish more people would wake up to that point.
A black man could have more in common with a white man than a fellow black man because there are fewer differences between groups than people within groups. And race baiters don't want you to know that, but data shows you that. That's why you have clumsy Democrats trying to mimic behavior than just be normal. Liz Warren trying to open a beer, Tim Walz fiddling with an air filter, Kamala suddenly embracing guns and saying the worst thing you would ever say for a gun owner, which is I'll just shoot somebody when they come in. Lawful gun owners don't say that, but that's what happens when you no longer see individuals. But groups, you treat them, I don't know, as like aliens from another planet. But when you focus on the economy, Kamala's in trouble. She can't talk about an economy. It's like, imagine if the Knack could never play My Sharona, or Leonard Skinner could never play Freebird, or Kaja Gugu, Dana, never playing Too Shy.
Kaja who?
Kaja Gugu. That's James Carville with his one big hit, It's the Economy Stupid. He can't play it because when you say that, the people hear it are going to vote for Trump. They're going to look back and go, yeah, all you have to ask, were you better off 2016 to 2020? Of course you were. So instead, he's stuck playing covers on MSNBC. Also, and I'll finish with this, Trump should definitely talk about manufacturing because it is tied to the economy. It's the hardest part about capitalism is making something at volume consistently so it's affordable. That's why making factories is the biggest deal. That's why Trump talks about it and Musk talks about it. What does Kamala know about manufacturing? What could she say? Maybe, taxpayer-funded sex changes. She puts the man in manufacturing. That's about it.
What about all the new plants that have been created under the Biden-Harris administration for the Chips and Science Act?
Goodness.
What about all the ones that are closing because of electric vehicles?
What is it, 700,000 new manufacturing jobs, even with the downward revision?
Wait a minute. Didn't Obama say he didn't have a magic wand? He couldn't bring them back?
Are you actually, so you think that Trump is going to win because you're bringing up something Obama said?
Because Trump did bring them back when Obama said you couldn't.
All right. Nice try, Jessica. Try it again next segment.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Jessica Tarlov, Fox is a 5-0, back at it again. She is just proving herself to be too far gone. I mean, that Trump derangement syndrome has truly taken over. And I'm not sure that she's even self-aware anymore. Her self-awareness is at an all-time low. She doesn't know what she's saying. I mean, she just blurts these things out. And it makes no sense whatsoever to anyone who actually is paying attention to what's going on, what Kamala Harris has been providing to the American people. I mean, like, come on, you guys. She's trying to say that, Donald Trump's economic plans are, inflationary. They're worse off than Kamala Harris's plans when we don't even know what her economic plans are. All we know is that her mother raised her in, middle class America, and she tried to, struggle to get a house for her and her sister, and she didn't get that to her late teens. I mean, that's all we know about Kamala Harris's economic plans, guys. Definitely out in the comment section, though. Let me know your thoughts, man. The win is Fox. I'm gonna do something about Jessica, man. Let me know in the comment section below. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.